I'll be doing a review for The Way Back. Before I begin, I want to say hopefully you all are doing well while we're all in quarantine and getting through this epidemic, and staying safe, washing your hands, and hopefully you and your loved ones are okay. Now on to the review. The Way Back is directed by Gavin OConnor, and it's a sports drama. Movies he's done before, if you don't know who the director is Miracle with Kurt Russell, and Warrior with I think Mark Wahlberg in 2011, and he also directed The Accountant. In the background I have some Apex Legends gameplay. So, yeah. So, The Way Back stars Ben Affleck, Melvin Gregg, Gianna Garfunkel, and Al Margeral. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing those names correctly. And basically, the whole premise of the movie is a troubled man with a troubled man with a formerly promising career in basketball struggles with alcoholism while coaching the basketball team of his old high school. Now, this movie for me is personally one of my favorites of March. Given the epidemic that we're in now, and the top 3 movies I'd always like to recommend for the month, this would be one of the movies that I do recommend. It's a very personal story to Ben Affleck, him struggling with alcoholism early in his career, struggling recently, mainly with him being able to turn basically a personal battle into a movie that he can make. Is pretty good too. There's other ones that have done similar as well, trying to do a redemption arc redemption arc story. Sorry, I can't talk now. I'll get into that later. But yeah, this is a movie for me that stood out very well. The things I liked about this movie, the basketball scenes with the team are very funny and fully spirited and fully hearted. Melvin Gregg, which if you guys don't know who he is, he's a YouTuber, but he's also most recently known for having been in American Vandal Season 2 and 2019 Season 3 of Snowfall on FX, which if you have a Hulu subscription in the States, or if you do know of the show Snowfall, he's in Season 3, and he's pretty good for the character he plays. And this one, he's a pretty funny character, a very hot-headed, conceited basketball star, as well as other supporting cast as well. They were very good. One thing that actually makes this movie also very good, besides Ben Affleck's performance, is the fact the supporting cast is very good. Another thing I liked is Ben Affleck actually puts his heart and soul into this performance. You can really tell by the way his character is. This is basically a very personal story because he did deal with alcoholism. He's given interviews about it before, how it's run in his family's history, how it's made him feel, how he's dealt with it over the years. And I really enjoyed that too, the fact he's able to turn something personal and be able to use acting as a way to convey his personal trial and tribulations. Another thing as well is Gavin OConnor. If you don't know his work before, the only work I haven't seen I haven't seen Warrior, but I've seen Miracle, and the way he's able to use real emotion from the actors, being able to pull strength or certain acting styles, or being able to pull emotions such as anger, grief, happiness from him. If you've seen Miracle, you've seen it with Kurt Russell's character. And he really used that to drive home a lot of the scenes in this film. You can see it in a lot of the scenes with him alone, or him speaking with his wife or his ex-wife, or him speaking with members of the basketball team and members of his family. It's a really good point that stands out in the film, and I actually noticed that a lot about the director's directing style. Things I didn't like is kind of follows a very cliche format of basically it being the whole tragic sports character, whether it be a basketball star or a coach, has a tragedy happen. One thing I could point out is maybe Southpaw, where Jake Gyllenhaal's character loses his wife midway through the movie. That being the tragedy, and then basically him having a redemption throughout the film, and him basically coming full circle. It follows that, as well as like the 1970s, I think, Bad News Bears. As well, it follows, or most notably, more familiar is Coach Carter as well, where it just follows like it being, oh, the coach is here to basically motivate and straighten these kids out type series, like more or less type arc of film. This isn't something that's new. It's something that Hollywood's done a lot before. Another thing I didn't like that much, or I think I disliked and feel like they could have been better utilized, was some of the supporting characters, such as Ben Affleck's character Jack Cunningham, his wife's character, which is played by actress Janaya Gavankar. As well as I would have loved to have seen a lot more backstory utilized with her character in particular, as well as Glenn Turman, who acts as basically, I guess, a designated driver for Jack whenever he gets drunk at the bar in the scenes in the movie. There isn't much besides, like, you just see him taking him home. I mean, I would have loved for them to better utilize him. What's his background relationship to Jack? What does he have to do with him? Why is he always there to help him out or bail him out from the bar whenever he's drunk or intoxicated? But yeah, I feel like those areas could have been better utilized. I'm actually a big fan of Ben Affleck's work, although I wasn't much of a fan of Batman vs. Superman, although there's much debate there to be have, as well as maybe, I mean, I feel like the writing in that movie didn't do him justice, but I mean, we'll see if they ever decide to release the Zack Snyder cut. But I've been a fan of his since I've seen him in Good Will Hunting with Matt Damon, which for me was a really good performance of his as Chucky. And I feel like, almost in my opinion, I feel like his character here relates a bit to it, in the sense that some scenes are heartfelt and very like surreal, not surreal in a sense, but more grounded in reality, in the sense of, oh well, if you actually look at the deeper meaning, or if you actually sit down for a minute and actually take a deep look at this, you can actually tell that there's a genuineness to it, or genuineness to the character. So what basically Ben Affleck trying to portray is a story of alcoholism, and using it as a metaphor, or basically trying to showcase it. This has been my movie review for March, or not for March. I still have The Hunt to do. That will be next. This has been my movie review for The Way Back. Basically, since there won't be any other movies released for March, this basically was going to be in my top 3. It gets released tomorrow on the 24th. If you're watching this, it should be Monday. It is a good movie. I would recommend it. I'd recommend you watch it if you can. If a friend has a copy of it, maybe you can probably stream it. I know it'll be available for purchase. I mean, here in the States, it will be $20, which is pretty high. Man, I'm not sure. I mean, honestly, I might watch it again. I've really enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed the acting from Ben Affleck and supporting characters. Melvin Gregg's a pretty funny YouTuber. He's very creative. If you ever have the chance to check him out, or him in Snowfall or American Vandal Season 2, I'd recommend it. As well, I think that wraps it up. My overall thoughts and opinions. Basically, I'd recommend this if you're a fan of like sports dramas, or a fan of basketball. The basketball scenes in this are very phenomenally shot, very well. And my rating for this would be a 4.2 out of 5. Probably in my top 3. I wonder if it'll be in my top 10 of the year, or maybe as an indie movies that have been overlooked, or movies that are underrated. That's been my movie review for The Way Back. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll also drop my Twitter down below if you also want to have a further conversation about this on Twitter, or any other movies I could recommend. That's been my movie review, and this has been Buzz. Peace.